Welcome to the MLA Formatting and Citations Guide presenting by the Writing Center at the Academic Resource Center. In today's presentation, we will cover basic formatting, the Works Cited page, and in-text citations. The basic formatting for a MLA paper would be to use a 12 font, usually a Times New Roman. You will have 1-inch margins. Your paper will be double spaced and there's no extra spacing between the paragraphs. The very first page will have a page header that includes your name on one line. The next line will be the professor's name. The next line will be your class name and number, and then your due date. The page number will be included in the upper right-hand corner and will include the writer's last name. The title is centered without any extra breaks in between it and the body, and you will use a 1/2-inch indents to separate paragraphs. Here we have an example of the first page in an MLA formatted paper. Note the student's name, professor, class, and date. To the left and to the right, we see the student's last name and the page number. In the center, we see the title. And then as the paragraph begins, it is double spaced, 12-inch margins, and indented. At the end of your MLA paper, you always have a Works Cited page. The Works Cited page gives credit to the people whose work you used in the paper. And your Works Cited page will tie in directly to the citations, the in-text citations that are used in your actual paper. Your Works Cited page is formatted such that it will use hanging indents for the second line of the citations. It will begin at the top with actually the word Works Cited. You do not number any of the entries that are listed on the Works Cited page, but you will put them in alphabetical order. An example of this would be you have the author, then you have the title in quotation marks, then you have the title of the container, where it comes from, and that will be italicized. Then, depending on what kind of work you have, it would include any other contributors, the version, the number, the publisher's name, date of publication, and the location. And for example, here we have 2 authors. So the first author, last name, first name, Green Stewart, then we include the word and then we put the second author, April Ladinsky. Then in quotation marks, we have the basics of MLA style. That's the title of the article. This article was included in a larger work, or its container was From Inquiry to Academic Writing, a Practical Guide. The version of this is the 3rd edition. The publisher's name is Bedford St. Martin's. The date of publication was December 12, 2014. Here we have an example of how a Works Cited page would be presented. Notice alphabetical order. Notice the second line of a entry is indent, has a hanging indent. Let's look at McCain Aaron. McCain Aaron, last name, first name, period. Then we have the title of that article, which is in quotation marks. Next, the container is in italics. And then we have location. And the location of this was on the website. If we look at the very first one, Earth Last Hope 2, that is the author, right? The title of this is Before Mankind, What Was Really on Earth, Part 5. Its container was on YouTube, and it came out on December 7th, 2008, and its location is a website. And we will go into this a little bit further. Formatting would include your author, last name, comma, followed by the first name, comma, and then first and last, if there are 2 authors like we saw. If there are 3 or more authors, then you would include the words et al. After the first author. So it'd be last name, comma, first name, comma, et al., and that shows that you're including a number of other people. Of course, you can use usernames as author names if necessary, like we saw on Earth's Last Hope, that is a username. And this section always ends with a period. Next, we have the title. The title is put in these quotation marks, right? You use quotes if it is part of a larger work. If it is not part of a larger work, if it just stands alone, right, without a container, then it is going to be italicized. And you will end this with a period. The title of container, where is this information from? What is holding it, right? It's part of something larger than it. It might be part of a book or a magazine or a website. This part needs to be italicized, and that helps the person who's reading your work site distinguish it from the title of container and the title. This actually is separated with a comma. Anyone else who contributed to the work, right? Producer, an editor, a translator, an illustrator, right? These are contributors. This is also included, right? And you're going to include their role by Eric Wolf, and you will end this part with a comma. Yes. The version is the edition. So it might be the second edition or the extended edition or the director's cut if it is some sort of video. And you will also end this with a comma. The number. The number distinguishes as part of a set. So if it's volume 2, number 5, right? If it's from a show or something, it's season 4, episode 1. This is still, if this information is part of where you receive this particular source, then this is included, right? And you will separate this also with a comma. The publisher's name is the company responsible for the work. If the publisher is the same as the container, then there's not any reason to include it. But again, this is another section that is separated with a comma. The date of publication. We abbreviate months that are longer than 4 letters. So if the month is May, then you can simply write out May or July. But if it's October or November or December or August, then you would just use the 3 letter abbreviation. Now you can put it in whatever order is most comfortable, but of course you would have to be consistent. For example, if it is October 11, 2018, then you can put October period 11, 2018, or you can put it in the other way, 11 October 2018. And of course you end this section with a comma. The location is where the information was found. The location might be a page number. If it is a single page, notice we put the letter P for a single page, and then you just put the page number. If it's multiple pages, you indicate that by putting PP period and then put the multiple pages, what they contain. If the location is a website, you do not include the HTTPS. You simply put the website on there. Remember to remove the hyperlink. And this section is going to be separated with a period. Now we'll move to InText citations. Now the InText citations show, you're going to put those in so that when someone is reading your paper, they'll know what is the outside source where you're getting this information from. Your InText citations will link directly to your works cited page. They are a shortened version, right? And they will include bits of information that correspond to the works cited entry. When you're doing an InText citation, you will include parentheses, include your citation, close parentheses, and then you will put your period. InText citations are always included at the end of the sentence. Let's look at an example. In this example, in the first part of the paragraph, we see that Schutz is mentioned, and this person is speaking about Schutz, and then they have a quote, and then at the end of the quote, then we put the InText citations, open parentheses, their name, close parentheses, and then a period. Notice that this corresponds directly to the works cited page at the bottom, where we see the arrow, where we have last name Schutz, first name Joanna, right? Then we have the title of her article, Red Hair, Blessing or a Curse, and that was contained in the Washington Post, and there was the date, and this location is a website. Author's name and page number. So when you're doing an in-text citation, there's different ways that you, well, there's different ways that you're going to put this together. If it's just one author, you just put the author's name. If there's two authors, you're going to put the author's name and the second author's name. If there's three authors, you put the first author's name and then you just put et al. If you're going to put your page number, the page number, author's name, and the page number. If there is not a page number, then the way you would do it is you would just simply put the author's name. If there's two or more page numbers, then you put the author's name and then you put the page number's range. We use signal phrases and no author's name. If the author's name is included in the preceding sentence, all you have to do is put the page number in parentheses. And notice we said the preceding sentence, not necessarily the paragraph, but if it's in the preceding sentence, then you just simply need to put the page number. For example, Green explains there are two main forms of argument, deductive and inductive. Okay, now we already said that the author was Green, so all we need to do is put the page numbers in parentheses and a period. If the author's name is not even provided and you were including it, then right, you move to the next piece of information that's in your works cited page, which is usually going to be the title. So if you did not have an author, then which would write the basics of MLA style, that is the container, and also the page number where that appears. There's different ways, of course, of citing things because there's different things that you're citing. So if you're citing a film and it's not a book, right? You're still going to follow the same basic format. What's the title of the film? Italics. Roles by first and last names. These roles might be the producers or the actors, right? Then the production studio, where it was produced, and the date. If you're using an online video, right, then you have the author's last name and first name, the same way you would with the book. Then you have the title, the name of the host site, if it was YouTube, right? The date, the URL, and then you would include your assessed by date. If you're using a musical score, the composer's last name and first name, right? The title of the composition, when it was composed, who's published it, because you're getting it from somewhere, and the year of publication.